Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. Welcome in. This is the show that's going to help you become your best self. That is why I'm here day in and day out. If you didn't know, this is a Monday through Friday show. So I don't talk about the day anymore because, if someone listens to this episode like a year from now, I don't want them to be like, I don't really care about what day it is, girl. And I get that. But it is so that you're able to get as many episodes as you can every single week. So that I think that's pretty cool and awesome. And I love it. I enjoy it so much. So today we are going to talk about quick tips for a little burst of happiness. And before I do that, I do want to do something I've been doing a lot lately is to invite you over to my Instagram, which is at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, and you can come say hi and jump in my DMs and we can become friends and we can just, chit chat and get to know each other. I would love to connect with everyone that would want to do that because I so appreciate you listening, downloading, and sharing the show. If you prefer, you can, if you have Clubhouse, you can come and see me over there and have like a real voice audio conversation. I am at Sabrina J. Perozzo, or if you'd love to send an old-fashioned email for any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, and hello to me, you can send that email to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. So before we get into it, I want to let you know that my voice sounds a little different. It's a little deeper. It's a little scragglier. It's because... and I'm here to be totally honest and transparent with you guys. It's because I was super frustrated today and I was hangry at the moment too. And I'm not saying that as an excuse. That was just my reasoning, but I totally own those little bit out of control feelings. Anyway, I had asked my husband to do something and he didn't do it. But he said he was going to do it and then he didn't. And I got a little frustrated. So I was driving in the car from dropping my daughter off at one of her classes. And I decided to just scream in the car because I had this fullness of energy and anger and frustration. And I just needed to get it out because I wanted to not be super angry when I got back to my house. So I just screamed and I realized that I screamed so hard in my throat, which I regret now. I probably should have just yelled, but now my voice is so scraggly. Luckily, I don't have to sing on a worship team anytime soon. So hopefully my voice will get back to normal. I can just drink some tea. But that's why it sounds a little deeper and different because I screamed at the top of my lungs to get rid of some anger and now I'm paying the price for that. So any hoodles, it does help you feel a little bit more freer though. I did like that effect. So again, today we're talking about quick tips for a little bursts of happiness. So life can be really hard, right? It can be difficult. Even talking about what I was talking about today, which is it's minimal. What happened is really just I feel like it's a deep misunderstanding, but also just, it was a deep misunderstanding, but it still caused me to feel a wide range of emotions, not caused, rather, it led me to decide to feel a wide range of emotions. And there's been harder things that have happened in our lives, and there's been a lot easier things that have happened in our lives. So, it's up and down. It can be tough, but despite what you're going through, it's important to recognize that there are so many things to be grateful for and blessings that abound in our lives. If you really decide to take a big step back and widen your perspective of all the amazing things that are happening in your life, you'll realize how amazing your life is, But something else to remember is that our happiness is in our control. Right? We get to decide if we are happy or not. It's just that plain and simple. And I feel like this is a hard thing for people to really grasp and understand or decide to believe, rather. But, a lot of times we will blame our lack of happiness on someone else because it's easier, for one. And two, we don't understand that we need to own our own emotions. We need to. We need to. I mean, you can decide. We can decide to not own our emotions, but it doesn't make them any less ours or our responsibility. So it still is ours. It's just if you decide not to, then you're kind of you're making the wrong choice because they're still yours. If you're just pretending to be a victim in the situation, then it's still not going to help you. It's just not going to help you. It's important to understand that we are in charge. But I think it's so great that we are in charge of how we feel because it means we are in control. And if anyone knows me, Or if you've just been listening for a while, you'll know that I'm kind of a control freak. I like to be in control of things. I am learning to be less of that person because it's not a good place to be. And it's definitely rooted in anxiety for me and worry. But it's like that, like the things that I do know that I have control over in my life, that's in a healthy way. I do try to embrace those things because it helps me feel safe, right? Helps me understand and have like this place for me to really lean into if everything else in my life just feels like it's a tornado. But we are in charge of how we feel, of our emotions. We are in control. We get to decide how we feel and how we go about our life. We don't have to deal with getting that directive from anyone else or even believe someone when they try to convince us we need them to be happy or content or fulfilled, because that's just a bunch of lies. You don't need anyone in your life to be happy. You don't need anyone else in your life to be content or fulfilled. I do believe that we all need Jesus in our heart, but besides that, we don't need actual human people in our life necessarily to make us happy. Those are great though, Believe you me, I would not give up my husband, my daughter, my dog, my cat. I love them. They're great. And I have good family, great friends. Yes, they all definitely fill me with happiness. However, if we have periods in our life and seasons of our life where we're more alone and don't necessarily have those close relationships or as many, we can still choose to be happy. It can feel a lot harder. I won't lie to you. And it could feel like it's an almost impossible thing because you have to try harder and do more, especially if you aren't used to having to do that. But it is such a great experience for everyone to go through, even though it's difficult, to understand that you are in charge of your own happiness and you need to put in that extra effort to obtain it, to obtain that contentment, to obtain feeling fulfilled in your life. So today I wanted to share with you some quick ways you can achieve happiness all on your own if you're feeling down and need ideas on a pick-me-up. So today I have 8 quick tips for you, and they won't be too long. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't talk about ones that I always talk about. When you look up those lists of like how to be happy, if you've ever looked that up, or if you do, go to Google right now and look up how to be happy, or, how to achieve happiness or whatever. There's definitely ones where it's like you can meditate, you can work out, you can journal, you can go to the gym, you can drink more water, right? You can smile. No, none of those suggestions are in this list, okay? Like, there's definitely going to be some classic ones, but there's not going to be any of those because you already know those, right? Those are the most classic pieces of advice that someone could give you in regards to, becoming happy in a short amount of time. But I wanted to try something new, come up with more exciting answers, or maybe not necessarily more exciting, but just more abstract, something different for you to ponder and understand, because, sometimes we get bored of hearing the same advice over and over and over again. And sometimes that is so helpful. That is so positive. That is what we need. We need to learn that same lesson over and over and over again for us to actually understand it and to receive it and to believe it and to practice it. But that is not today, because today we were just talking about quick bursts of how to be happy, because you could easily, again, go to Google, type in how to be happy. You're going to get hundreds upon hundreds of ideas. A lot of them will be the same and a lot of them will be different. And today, mine will be different. So 8 of them, here we go. The first one is to give someone else a compliment. I do believe, and I'm sure if you haven't done this, you'll be like, I don't think so, Sabrina, but try it. Just give it a try. Try it once. Try all of these ones. But give someone else a compliment. When you are being kind and caring to someone else, or nice, just nice in general, even, giving someone a smile on the street, but giving someone else a compliment really can fill you with happiness, because you are spreading happiness by doing that, spreading kindness. And that warms your heart a little bit. So, I like to give compliments to strangers. It's fun. And actually, I was out to ice cream with my family and recently, and, the girl was just giving us all compliments. Like, oh, tell my daughter I like her pants. And I'm like, oh, that means I'm a fashionista, right? Because I bought those pants for her. I picked them out. I didn't just buy them. I picked them out for a Christmas gift. She didn't even know she was getting them. And I was like, ooh, look at me, fashionista. And then she's like, oh, I like your top. And I'm like, ooh, look at me. I like my top. Anyway, that's not the point of this. I just felt really good about myself. My fashion choices. No, she gave us compliments and that made me feel really good. But she was like smiling and happy and it felt very genuine. And when you are giving someone else a compliment and you're like, oh my gosh, I totally love your smile, or look, I love the jacket that you're wearing, or oh, you were so sweet to help that person do this, that, and the other, like whatever compliment that you want to dish out, which I think in the future we should talk about just a quick run through of, how to compliment someone or how to receive a compliment. I definitely want to chat about that. But yeah, giving someone else a compliment and it just fills your heart with joy and happiness that you were able to do something nice and kind for someone else. So try it. The second one I have is call a friend and chat. Hilarious because I don't like to call anyone. I mean, I'll call my husband. That's about it. Like I do. I will call my kid when I need to call her, but we definitely just text, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I'm sure that when she gets older, we'll call on the phone. But until then, it's cool. Like we get our point across, we get what we need to. I'll send her voice messages sometimes. That's fun. But we will call and talk to each other when we need to. But yeah, I don't really call and talk to anyone. And, one of my closest friends does like to call and chit chat on the phone. It's frustrating to me because I like to be able to multitask. And yes, I know what you're going to say. Sabrina, you can multitask while you're on the phone. Yeah, but I can't multitask as well if I have to continually be present in the conversation, actually listen to what she's saying as opposed to wanting to fold a couple pieces of laundry between sending a voice message or texting back. I don't know, but I do know that sometimes that is really helpful. And a lot of other people like to talk on the phone. So just because, and this just shows you that I am giving tips that I don't necessarily agree with all of them. I know it's helpful. They don't all work for me, but I know it works because I've seen other people do it. They will call their friends, chat on the phone, and feel great in no time. Even if they're still a little sad or put down about what happened, or whatever experience they've recently gone through, they still feel a little better because they were able to talk to someone and, put a little burst of happiness in their life at that moment. So I consider calling a friend and chatting with them. That could help burst with a burst of happiness. The third one that I want to mention is listen to an encouraging or funny podcast. So I don't know if anyone listens to this show to be in a happy mood. That'd be cool if they did, because I feel like a lot of times I will talk about some very, deep, I guess is the word I could say, serious topics. But I've been trying to lighten it up a little bit lately because I don't want it to be all serious. And I feel like I can be serious while also being candid and funny and just, a little off the cuff. And I'm trying to do that more. So if you are listening to this show for happiness or for encouragement, that's cool. I thank you. Awesome. But you can listen to so many other shows to be encouraged or even funny podcasts. I love to listen to Judge John Hodgman, which is on the Maximum Fun Network. I love that podcast so much. I've been listening to it for years. I remember the first time that I started listening to it wasn't when it started. It had been going on for some time. I think I had gone back and listened to 50 episodes or something. I don't think it was 100, maybe, but I feel like it was at least 50 episodes to catch up. And I would just listen to them over and over and over again. But this was also when I was full-time running my house cleaning business. So I was listening to podcasts all the time. It was either music while I'm vacuuming or podcasts while I was cleaning. And I listened to them so much. And, they did put me in a good mood a lot of times, And I encourage you to do the same. If you need a little bit of happiness, you can find a cool comedy show. You can find a show that's interviewing people that are doing things that are interested to you, or, musicians, or listen to a podcast that's encouraging, or whatever it is. I just think that, I know you're listening to a podcast now while listening to this, but, finding other ones as well that encourage us and lift us up is super helpful. Okay, so the fourth one is to find some really good music to listen to. When I decide to put on some music that really just gets me going, it does make me happy. I think it was last week, I was so stressed and so frustrated. And I've lately been very overwhelmed with work because there's been lots of changes. And it's not going to last forever. I already know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but I've been super overwhelmed and not happy. And so the other week, actually, I turned on the soundtrack to Hamilton because I'm super obsessed. My daughter is super obsessed now since she watched it on Disney Plus, and we just love it. And it brings me so much joy, especially since I've actually seen it. I've seen it on Broadway, and it was such a special treat. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite things ever that I've done with my husband. And it was great. But anytime I listen to the soundtrack, it gives me so much happiness and joy. But that doesn't, like, maybe you're not into musicals or soundtracks. But you know what also gives me a lot of joy? When I listen to this 90s playlist that I created. I have like an upbeat one. And then I recently am starting to make like a women of the 90s ballads type of thing. You know, Anita Baker, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, those kind of things. Oh, so good. And that's really good music. I love listening to like the first two albums from NSYNC or Backstreet Boys or 98 Degrees. So I just encourage you to find some really good music to listen to. So whether you venture out and find some new music that really just like touches your soul and brings you joy, or you just listen to some throwbacks that you enjoy, whether or not anyone else likes that music, who cares? If it's going to bring you joy and happiness, then listen to your heart's content. That's what I say about that. Because if it can bop you into a happier mood, then hey, let it do that. Okay, so the fifth one is to clean up a space around you. So I don't know the exact quote, and I didn't look it up because that wasn't that important to me. But I remember it was said to me a few years ago that, you know, well, how am I going to say this? See, this is why I don't cut this kind of stuff out, because you know exactly what I'm going through. So someone has essentially said to me, like, the space around you is a reflection of what's going on in your mind. So if you have a mess everywhere, then that is a reflection of what's going on in your mind, or vice versa. You know, if you feel like you're super overwhelmed, you have too much going on, it's going to be reflected in your living space. And so it's super helpful to me that when I'm not happy and I really just need to feel like things are together, like I'm in control, like I need just like a little spark of joy and fulfillment, I will clean up a space. And usually it's my office, or I'll make the bed. And the reason I don't make the bed when I get out of the bed in the morning is because I get up before my husband. He gets up like 2 hours later. So I don't have that opportunity. And usually by the time he gets up, I'm already like deep in work. But a lot of times, if I just need a little break and I want to feel good, I will go make the bed. And when I make the bed, I will like, you know, fix the sheets and put all the throw pillows on and open the shades and, you know, put the throw blanket at the end so it looks cute and all this stuff. And I just kind of like set the whole scene so that when I walk by my bedroom a lot, coming from my office, going downstairs and around the house. And so I'll be able to peek in and be like, oh, look at that. Look at that bed. Look at this, looks so nice and tidy. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way, but yeah, it brings me so much joy and happiness. And then when I clean my office up, definitely, I feel like I work a lot better when my desk is clean. When it's just cluttered with crap, it's kind of now, I'm looking around right now. I'm like, okay, there's a deck of Post-it notes. There's a napkin, Dutch Bro, coffee stickers, random headphones, 3 napkins. I don't know. There's all kinds of crap on my desk right now. And so I like to take some time and tidy it up. It only takes me like 5 or 6 minutes. Tidy it up, feel better. So I encourage you that if you want to get some joy and happiness, fulfillment, just find a space around you that you live in with your home or your apartment or wherever, your dorm room, just tidy it up a little bit and you'll feel a lot better. You'll feel proud. You'll feel like, oh, okay, it's nice and clean in here. I like it. The 6th one is to pet an animal or look at pictures of cute animals. I said both because I know that not everyone has a pet or has access to dogs and cats and what have you to pet. So if you don't have access to pet them or give them hugs, I love giving my dog a hug. I love giving my dog a hug. I don't think he minds it. He's a golden retriever, so he's very lovey. But although there was one time, I think recently he was pulling away, but I was hugging for a long time. I was having a hard day. But yeah, find a pet to pet. And if you don't have that opportunity, like jump on Instagram or Pinterest, type in cute dogs, cute cats, cute bunnies, whatever, deer. Deer are so cute. We have deer by our house a lot. They are so darn cute. and just look them up. And it just like, it just makes you feel so happy. They're so cute. You're just like, oh my goodness, like, how are you so darn cute? And so, yeah, that really helps me. I feel like it helps a lot of people. I think you should try that. It's easy. And most of us have the internet on our phone. So if you can do it while you're out and about, or if you like fall into a bad mood while you're having an argument with someone, just, be like, okay, I'm just going to pull up some pictures, look at some cute cats. Oh, so cute. Makes me feel good and warm and fuzzy inside. Okay, so I have 2 more for you. And this one's really fun. So the 7th one that I want to talk about is put together a puzzle or build with Legos or color in a coloring book. This all sounds really childish, right? Well, except for puzzling. Puzzling is like an adult thing as well. So I like to put together puzzles. They make me feel so calm. It makes me think right now I want to start a puzzle. I have a Friends, like the Friends TV show. I have one of those puzzles downstairs, and I should probably like get it out and get like a cookie sheet and like slowly put it together. That'd be really cool. I could do that. I have a card table that I could do that on. Okay, anyway, I'm like planning it out. But yeah, put together a puzzle. It allows your mind to do different kind of thinking. Give yourself a distraction, basically. A lot of times for us to, have happiness or joy or fulfillment or contentment or just to like, get out of our funky mood that we might be in, we need a little bit of a distraction. And I think that these are fun distractions. Puzzling, super fun. But you're not into that? Okay, do you have access to Legos? Actually, for Christmas, my husband and my daughter got me the Lego set where you can set up the Friends TV show Cafe, and it has the characters in it too. And it's an expensive set. I've yet to put it together because I have this issue of when I know I can only really do something once, which I could put together multiple times, but I don't think I would. When I can only do something once, and this happens when I like read a book or whatever, because I reread a lot of books, but not a lot of books. Anyway, I don't do it. So a lot of times if I get too close to the end of a book and I don't want it to end, I just won't read the end. I'll just like put it off. But this puzzle, I can see it from here. It's sitting across from me in my office, and I haven't put it together yet, even though I want it. Even though I think about it all the time, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do it because it'll end. It'll be over. But at least it'll be something I can look at after I build it. So anyway, but I know that's really fun because even when I go and see other kiddos that have Legos, my daughter doesn't have Legos anymore, I love putting together Legos because it's so super fun and it's therapeutic. And again, another distraction. But another one, color in a coloring book. I love this too. I recently got a Bob Ross inspired like coloring book at Target, and I bought some like non-bleeding markers or whatever. And I've been using that to do a little bit of coloring. Like if I just have a few minutes, I'll just color really quick. And it just is so calming. It's such a calming act, and it does make me happy because when you color something in and you actually finish filling that in, or you decide what color something's going to be, and you take a step back and look at what you've done so far, it just makes me feel so good because you're accomplishing something, making something beautiful, having fun, and taking a break from whatever experiences that you are currently going through. So try one of those. So super fun, puzzling, Legoing, or coloring in a coloring book. And the last one, the 8th one that I want to suggest to you for a quick little burst of happiness is to live more in the moment. I know, super cliche. I had to end with a cliche one. Live in the moment. Try not to be so worried about what's going to happen in the future, and try not to continually dwell on the past. Live right now because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, and whether that's promised to you or not. And the past has happened in the past. You've taken the time to learn from it, to grow from it, to change, but move forward and continue moving forward. Don't continue to look back, right? You need to focus on what is happening right now. Really just soak it in, enjoy it, be grateful for it. And that will increase your happiness because you're really living for right now as opposed to worrying about the past or the future. So that's all I have to say today about our quick tips for a little burst of happiness. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast, again, with me, Sabrina. Thank you so much for downloading, listening, and sharing the show. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. Again, check the show notes for where to find me on Instagram at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, or Clubhouse at Sabrina J Perozzo, or send me a good old-fashioned email with any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topics, suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, and hello to me. send that to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.